Hello, this is Muse, and I love Muse. This is we're talking about the muses who are those delighted by art, who make communities better, our communities, your communities, by urging and applauding art of all kinds. The 8 muses long ago were the goddesses of science and the arts. Today my guest is Dave Hibbert, and if you are interested in his email, hibbert.dave@gmail.com. Okay. Dave, congratulations. Welcome to my show.
Thank you. Honored to be here.
Yes. And so, okay, how long have you been in Auburn?
2.5 years now.
2.5 years.
2.5 years.
So you're a kid.
Just a kid here, yes.
Okay. Where did you come from?
We came from Cupertino, the South Bay Area.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And how long had you been there?
All my life.
Really?
Yes, pretty much.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And you are a musician.
I am.
And by musician, what do you mean?
Well, interestingly enough, I'm not a solo performing musician. I am an ensemble musician.
Okay.
I sing in choirs. I conduct. I'm a conductor.
Are you?
But when people say, oh, sing something, they always kind of cringe.
They cringe?
They cringe. I don't have a beautiful solo voice. I wish I did. I trained, took all the private lessons, did a senior recital at the conservatory, but I blend well. I've been accepted into every choir that I've auditioned for.
You blend well.
I blend well.
You're perfect. You are perfect. That's what groups want.
Well, yes.
Is somebody who can say that again.
Blend.
Blend well. You can blend
Yes.
well.
Mm-hmm.
Why can you blend well? How can you do that?
Well, interestingly enough, with singers, if you have a voice, and if you think of your voice as a circle, soloists train to have bumps and ridges. So this is why you can tell that Taylor Swift sounds different than Barbra Streisand, who sounds different from Mariah Carey, who sounds different from Peggy Lee.
Wow.
Okay. But in choral singing, we try to get rid of those bumps, so we don't look like, our voice doesn't look like a star, it looks like a circle. And so we take out the individuality in our voices so that we blend.
You're invalid. You take out your what?
Individuality. The
Individuality.
things that make my sound
and the
my
individuality is there for all of you.
Yes.
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 Okay. Yes. You can hear the group.
Yeah, exactly. And no voice sticks out.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Okay. But then again, I hear people singing, and I hear people singing, and
Mm-hmm.
groups singing, and most of the time, it's lovely.
It is, but that's due to rehearsal. Singing together. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Perfect. Okay. And how long does it take to be to perfect?
To get a group.
Yeah.
Oh boy, that's a good question. For a 3-minute song, 3 or 4 minute song, I would say it probably takes 4 to 6 hours of rehearsal time.
Wow. Okay.
And yeah, that'd be about right.
Uh-huh.
And so you might rehearse it for 10 or 15 minutes a dozen times,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Okay.
And then you've got it down to where you know it well and can sing it and blend with the others.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And singing and doing it by yourself that's simple, I suppose.
Yeah.
But then you have to, that's so you know where you're supposed to do and what you're supposed to do and how fast and how slow
Yes.
and where high and low and yeah. But then you have to do it with other people, and that takes more time.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Okay, and so what caught you with music? When did you start?
You know, as a little kid, my mom played piano and didn't really practice much. She'd just sit down for 5 or 10 minutes every once in a while and play. And I tried, she had me, asked me would I like to take piano lessons. I think I was in 2nd grade. And I said, yeah. But we started on it, and I probably took lessons for 4 or 5 months. I seldom practiced, but I learned.
Because your mother didn't.
Yeah, and I didn't. I learned a lot. I learned to play the right hand. I learned to read the notes for left hand, right hand. I learned the staff, but I couldn't really do anything with it. And one day I remember sitting down at the piano and thumping around, and then realizing, I don't think I had a lesson last week. I wonder if Mom canceled the lessons because I wasn't practicing. And after another week went by, I finally asked her, and she said, yeah, I canceled the lessons because you weren't practicing. Oh, well. And then in 4th grade, the music teacher came in and gave some sort of test at the beginning of the year, music test. And those who succeeded on it were chosen to offer the chance to play an instrument. I didn't make it for whatever
surprise.
reason. And I don't know what happened that day, but I didn't do well. But the interesting thing was, my buddy who was accepted to play trumpet was kind of showing me what he was doing as he went along, and I was able to do it without going to the lessons. He showed me, and I was able to do it. So I guess I had some talent, right? And then,
I guess.
And then in the middle of the year, the string teacher came in and said, I have room for some people to play a string instrument 2nd semester. And she said, of course, you'd have to be a very good student because you're going to be missing some class a couple times a week. And I shot up my hand because I just got an A on a spelling test. And my teacher said, yes, David, you can do it. So I went and picked up the violin, which is actually a very simple instrument to play. It's difficult to play well, but it's simple. Okay. And okay, there's A, 1 finger is B, 2 fingers is C, 3 fingers is D. Okay, and since I already read music, it was easy for me. I never practiced, but I would learn something on Monday. I'd come in on Thursday, take me a few minutes to catch up, and by the end of the year, I'd caught up with the kids who'd started at the beginning. And I was the only kid to get an A+.
Oh my goodness. But this wasn't singing.
No, it wasn't singing. It was playing violin, and I played violin up through, I really had no opportunities to sing. I wasn't part of a church. My school, elementary and middle school, didn't have choirs. When I got to high school, I was still playing violin, was in the orchestra, and we had a huge music program. And we did a huge Christmas concert, and it was called a Christmas concert in public school back then, in the gym. And the choirs sat up in the bleachers, and the orchestra was on the floor, and the parents were on the other side.
Yeah.
And we did this concert, so I got to play with and hear the choirs. I was like, wow. And I caught on, and we made a record every year, and I would listen to it. So I got to hear it, and I remember going to the music teacher my sophomore year after my voice finally settled down, right? and asked him, could I be in choir? And he said yes. I remember hearing that if you were in band or orchestra, you didn't have to audition. So okay, so I was able to skip being in glee club and go straight to the concert choir, and I loved that. And then
why did you love it?
Singing.
What about it made you love it?
Singing with other people, making harmony. You know, and I've never really thought about that. What was it about being in that group, but singing these songs? And when you sing a note and someone else sings a harmony note or vice versa,
Yeah.
you get chills. And
You're right.
the research shows that this is good for the brain. Singing is good for the brain, and singing with other people is good for the brain. And it does something to you and for you. And I loved it.
Makes you feel good.
Oh, definitely.
That's certainly feeling,
Mm-hmm.
making you feel good. And then you went to college.
Then I went to college, and this was interesting because people asked me, so my senior year, I was in choir. We'd started a madrigal group, and I was in that.
A
I was
magical group?
in madrigals.
Madrigal,
Which
okay.
was
Yeah.
the pop music
Yeah.
of the 17th century. And then, and then I was in orchestra, and I was a TA for band. So I took roll was about all I did, but then I went with the pep band, and I got to play the gong or the bass drum or something on the side. It was kind of fun. And people said, "So, Dave, you're going to major in music?" Nah, what can you do with that? Because I'd be a music teacher. Who wants to do that? And I thought I was going to become a chiropractor. I really had no idea. Beginning of my senior year, I was like, what am I going to?
Yeah.
I know I'm going to college, but what am I going to major in? I had no idea. I thought maybe I'd be an engineer, but I'd started off taking electronics classes, and the guys with the math brains flew right by me. That wasn't me. And I applied to Cal Poly, got accepted as a biological sciences major. I'd never taken biology. I was in the process of failing chemistry. I did pass it, just barely.
Good for you.
Well, if I hadn't, I wouldn't have graduated from high school. But I got accepted. I don't know why. I guess they needed an artsy person. My parents took me down, I guess in spring break, and we looked around the campus, and I was like, it just wasn't what I thought it was going to be. And I thought, no. But we went by the music department, and I ran into a girl I knew. She was a year older than me from my high school choir. And she said, "Dave, well, you know, choir is next hour. Come meet the director." And we went and we met the director, and he said, "Oh, you want to sing with us?" I said, "What?" And he said to my parents, "Go have lunch. Dave, you come sit in the bass section and sing." And I did. And I sat up there, and they gave me a folder, and I did it. And I remember feeling, I sang in a college choir. I can do this, yeah. So I got home, and again I thought, but how would I do? What am I going to do? I got my acceptance transferred to San Jose State as an undeclared major. But somewhere the summer after I graduated, I decided that being a school music teacher was exactly what I wanted to do. And so I decided instead to go to our local community college because they had an incredible choral program with an incredible choral director. And so I did that. I went to De Anza Community College, sang under a director by the name of Royal Stanton. And
Royal Stanton.
I know.
Royal Stanton.
Isn't that a wonderful name? And his middle name was Waltz, Royal Waltz Stanton. And we held him in great awe. He was amazing. And sang with him in the choir, which was 100 people, and a small group called the Vintage Singers, about 30 people. And he, for a few semesters, even had a madrigal group, and I sang in that. So I was singing in ensembles and loving it. At the same time, my junior in high school, I'd joined a church youth group, and they had a youth choir, and I joined that. So I was singing at church, having a great time in the youth choir. I didn't like what the chancel choir did, the grown-ups, but the youth choir, we sang fun stuff with guitars, and we sang, we performed at the jail, and we did all sorts of things, and I loved it, just loved it. So I was singing hours and hours and hours every week, having to take the music theory classes and stuff too, and I got by.
Darn
those.
it.
Yeah, I know. But I got through, and transferred my junior year to UOP, the conservatory, and
UOP is where?
University of the Pacific in Stockton.
Okay.
They now just call it Pacific, but it's UOP, and at a conservatory, and I got accepted, and joined the choirs there, and was a music education major, and from there it just all life unfolded before me.
And did you become a teacher?
I did.
Oh,
I
okay.
did. So,
you didn't want to, but
well,
you
originally I didn't, but what's interesting is that summer after I graduated from high school, I decided that being a school music teacher was exactly what I wanted to do. And as a result, I passed up people who were far more talented than I in college. People who had dreams of being a performer, you know, being a symphony clarinetist or whatever. I just whooshed right by them because I wanted to be a music teacher. And so I finished college in 4 years and a summer. It took me an extra summer. I had a couple of units, but I was able to graduate with my class. And then I worked for a semester in Silicon Valley, and then
Teaching?
No, because I did not yet have a credential. So no, I just worked at an electronics company to earn money to go back to school second semester to do my student teaching. I did that in Sacramento at Hiram Johnson High School, and then I moved back to the Bay Area and moved back into my parents and substitute taught. And I did that till April.
Meanwhile, also singing.
Oh yes, I was singing. I was singing in, I joined the adult version of my junior college choir, a group called Schola Cantorum that Royal Stanton directed. He had formed a 100-voice adult choir that at the time was considered one of the best choirs in the Bay Area. And it was an honor to be part of that. And so I was singing, I was teaching, well, I was substitute teaching. And then one day after spring break, I got a call from the school district I grew up in, and asking me, would I like to take over for Mr. Brown at Wilcox High School? The kids had driven him out. I'd subbed for him 10 or 12 days.
The kids had driven him out?
Driven him out. And I had subbed there a number of days
Why
already.
had they driven him out? Well, never mind.
Well,
why were you better?
Why? I'm not saying I was better.
Of course you were.
But he was a band guy, and he had done middle school.
He's not okay.
Well, he had done middle school band and elementary, and then they closed that school, and they moved him up to the high school. He bumped out a guy, and he really was at a loss with the strings and with choir and the 2 guitar classes. On the other hand, I was a string guy, I was a choir guy, and I played guitar. I didn't know anything about band, except I just treated them like an orchestra or choir. I directed them, and they played. They knew how to play their instruments. So I was successful there.
How long did you do that?
38 years.
38 years.
38 years.
You played, you trade, okay. So you sang with them, I can imagine. Not
yes.
really?
Well, I sang with Schola Cantorum throughout that.
Uh-huh.
And then the district, interestingly enough, was in a constant state of flux with declining enrollment. So I did that high school gig for 2 years. And then they closed my old high school. My music teachers bumped me out of my job. And the district found me a position doing elementary music. And so I took it. So there I was teaching.
Did you have a good time?
I had a great time. It was interesting, you know, every half hour you get a dozen kids walking in carrying $500 noisemakers, and you try to teach them something that they can go home and practice, and then you send them out and you get another bunch. And you do that, but at 2:30 you're done. There's nothing else to do. There's no planning, there's no
No writing down.
Yeah, all that kind of stuff. So I really enjoyed it. It was exhausting. I'd come home at 2:30 and collapse, but I was done.
Yeah.
Whereas
and then you sang.
And then I went and sang. Yes.
Went and sang.
Went and sang.
Where did you go in the evening and sing?
With this group Schola Cantorum, and I was still part of that church youth choir. Even as I got into my mid-20s, it was kind of a youth young adult choir. And then I later directed that group too.
Okay. Now, what kind of voice do you have?
I'm a baritone.
Baritone.
Okay. I can sing the low bass notes, but they're not really loud. But I'm a baritone.
Okay.
And part of that is my voice range, and part of it is that, quite frankly, I'm a good sight reader. I can read the music well, and so I can sing what we call the middle voices. Singing the top voice, singing the bottom voice are easier. The middle parts, you really have to be right on it because they're harder to hear, right? So you have to...
Why are they harder to hear?
Because the ear picks up the high and low notes. So the melody, which is always in the top,
Have you read this or have you experienced it?
both.
Oh.
Both, yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. In a choir you have soprano, alto, tenor, bass.
Yeah.
And the alto part is always trickier than the soprano part because it's harmony. You're not singing what the song sounds like. You're doing the backup part.
Okay.
Okay. I would tell my students the sopranos, the melody are the eyes, the harmony is the makeup.
Say that again. Say that again.
The melody are
Is-
the eyes.
Melody are the eyes.
The harmony parts are the makeup.
Okay. Okay.
You can have a song and have someone can sing Silent Night as
Yeah.
a solo,
Yeah.
and it sounds nice.
Yes.
But when someone harmonizes with them,
Yes.
it sounds better.
Yes.
And the more parts you add, the better it can sound.
Yes.
Yeah.
When I sing with Silent Night, and I'm a little bit lower,
Okay.
and nobody else is doing that, and I hear myself doing that, and it sounds good.
Yes. Then you're hitting the right notes. That's good.
Yeah. Yeah. Why do you think music is important?
Music is important because it's really the earliest art, right?
Okay.
Before humans, maybe even before they had verbal language, they could grunt and make sounds that were pleasing.
Yes.
And so it's just part of our nature to do this, to create. It's a way to create art and to be part of art. You know, you may not be able to draw. Anybody can sing. Now, some people don't have a good musical ear, and sometimes we use the phrase tone deaf. You know, my country 'tis of thee sweet.
Yeah.
They don't hear the ups and downs. That can be trained at a young age, but the older you get, the harder it is to overcome
Yeah.
that. But anybody can sing, and so you find ways to rope people in and let them be part of it.
And then what?
Then they get to be part of something. This is why ensembles are so important. Choirs, bands, orchestras, because then you're part of something bigger than yourself. You are contributing to a group sound. You're learning how to blend. You're learning how to be part of something larger. I just heard a guy speak on a YouTube video yesterday about how in Harvard Medical School they have a list of interview questions, 30-some questions if you're good enough to be asked to interview to go to their med school.
Yeah.
And the last question is, were you ever part of band, orchestra, or choir in high school? They want to know that because if you were, then you already know how to work with other people. You're not just a genius who may not be able to communicate. You know how
You
to...
work with others.
Yes.
You
Works well with others.
Yes. Oh, that's lovely. I need to tell people that. That's lovely.
Thank you.
Oh, wow. You didn't want to know. You didn't want to tell us what your favorite song is, but do you have some favorite?
Oh, I have
songs?
so many, it's unbelievable.
No,
You know,
it isn't.
But if you, I mean, I think of, okay, what song, if I had to walk into a huge jukebox and could pick any song to listen to, I'd probably push Bridge Over Troubled Water by Simon and Garfunkel.
Okay.
I just love it.
Yeah.
American Pie. It's funny. I was in Hawaii. I walked into a 7-Eleven for some reason to pick up something, and I get to the counter, and there's this 18-year-old girl at cashier, and we find that we're both singing along with the Muzak, singing American Pie, and we're just singing it to each other.
Neat.
There's this bond that you just clicks, right?
Oh, cool.
So that song chorally. There's a piece by Randall Thompson, who is a 20th century composer, called a collection of songs called The Peaceable Kingdom. And the final song in that is called Ye Shall Have a Song. And it's in 8 parts. I learned it in junior college. I've sung it many times since. I can listen to choirs sing it, and it just...
Yes.
It's one of those kind of pieces.
Yeah, you have to rub yourself.
Yeah.
Yes. I want to know where you sing now.
I now sing with a local group called Cola Voce. Cola Voce is a small choir of 25, 30 people. We rehearse in Moto Vista and perform many places, but I believe our concerts this April,
This April.
Are going to be in the General Gomez Center, downtown Auburn. It's where we did our final concert last year. And we do a variety of types of music, but choral, and then there are small groups in the middle, that some solos, some small groups. But these concerts are just wonderful. I'm in awe of our director, because she puts together concerts that you don't feel like you're sitting at a concert. You don't listen, clap, listen, clap, listen, clap. It's not like that. I can't tell you much more than that, except to say, come, you won't regret it.
Yes, okay. And it's Cola Voce at General
General Gomez Center.
Gomez.
Yes.
And when?
Yeah.
At the end of
April.
End April.
The website is colavoce.org.
COLO.
Oh, COLLA VOCE.
Okay.
Org. Yeah.
COLLAVOCE.org.
Yes.
General Gomez at the end of April.
Yes.
I want to see that.
Oh, I'd love to have you come.
Yes, I would love to be there. This is Dave Hibbert, who is deeply involved with music and has been deeply involved with music most of his life. Dave, thank you very much for coming.
My pleasure.
It's my pleasure too, and I hope it was your pleasure. Thank you for watching.